We've been using a compound dovetail neck joint for 110 plus years. So this is something that's really part of our DNA at Gibson. And we use that neck joint on everything we do. Every acoustic guitar that we make uses this neck joint and hide glue.
The dovetail neck joint is superior. I'm not a cabinet builder, but I do know that the dovetail neck joinery, which came out of England to my knowledge, it's a type of a joint, the more pressure you put on it, the tighter it gets, the way it's cut. So the dovetail neck joint creates a bond to the body. As the strings are pulling it, it's actually getting tighter, it's making a tighter bond. And not only that, we use hide glue there to blend the cells of the wood of the block that is put into the neck, so that it's like one piece of wood from the neck to the body as much as humanly possible. Once again, like Orville wanted, if you can put an instrument together in a fashion that enhances the performance, that's the way to go. And the reason why I'm bringing Orville into it, because there's a lot easier ways of putting them together than a dovetail neck to body joint with hide glue. But we use it because it makes our guitars sound even better.
If you can take that neck, which is a substantial piece of mahogany, maple, and make it part of the instrument that's helping create tone instead of just an attachment that's holding the strings, that's what gives a traditionally built guitar that roundness of tone, that mid-range, that is really hard to accomplish any other way. When you hit a chord, you can feel that neck moving, feel it vibrating. You know it's helping create sound. It's kind of like if you take a tuning fork and you hit it, that handle's moving in your fingers. Same concept with the guitar.
The compound dovetail neck joint creates this amazing bond between the neck and the body of our acoustic guitars. So that bond only strengthens over time. The hide glue, the nitrocellulose lacquer bonds with the wood. So really our guitars continue to evolve over time and get better and better like a fine wine.
Your body's ready to receive the neck. The compound dovetail neck joint is ready to go. They will dry fit it, check how it fits. At that point, they will do any additional sanding on the body or sanding on the neck to make it fit the way it should. They will work it over and over and over again before they apply the glue to make sure that that angle, that fit, that everything is going to be right. Very high learning curve position. These guys are incredibly skilled. The thing is, they put the neck on this body. It has to go through the entire finish process, which is one of the most labor-intensive and expensive parts of the entire build before we find out if they did this right, before the strings are put on. So the attrition rate has to be very low, or it just wouldn't be cost-effective to do it this way. But our guys are good, they're efficient, and they love what they do, and they love doing it right.
It is very difficult to fit a dovetail neck joint because for every adjustment you want to make, there are about 3 different ways you can make that adjustment, but it takes probably a few years before you learn all of the different ways you can make that adjustment and which one is best for what you want to do.
We take into every account how they're supposed to sit together exactly like puzzle pieces, and trying to be conscientious of where the fretboard sits and how the heel sits, and make sure that you can't have a gap, you can't oversand, you can't push too hard, you'll crack the top. It's the fun of the dovetail is supposed to be the effective puzzle piece. You slide it in and it's just kind of done. You can glue it together. Doesn't always work that way.
We call this a compound dovetail neck joint because not only is it tapered this way, getting smaller, it's also tapered inward. So the farther you push it in, the tighter it gets. As it gets tighter and tighter, you get a better bond, not only with the body, but a better contact for vibration transfer. At that point, your body's done, your neck is done, hide glue is applied, dovetail neck joint slips in. They will again have tools and jigs. They measure the angle, measure the fit, and they'll clamp it on. And if everything is right, they'll leave it clamped up for about an hour again. And at that point, the clamps come off and the guitar moves forward for more finishing work, sanding work to get it ready for the spray booth. The dovetail neck joint is created on the CNC machine, but every guitar is a little bit different. Every piece of wood is different. When they fit this neck on that body, if they find it's not exactly perfect, they will hand chisel, hand sand, hand do whatever it takes to make it right. That is just the hand building factor of a Gibson Acoustic, and the fact that that is why this particular application is such a difficult job, such a skilled position. To get it done right, these guys really have to have the eye, have the feel, and know what they're doing.
If the neck is fit too shallow, there won't be enough room to put a bridge on it. If it's set too high, there won't be enough room to put a saddle on it.
You're working with the playability of the guitar itself. Nobody wants a guitar that they can't play. And if it doesn't sound right, that makes it even worse. So as far as neck fit and being crucial, and even the pitch, everything, every part of neck fit is important in the aspect of having a guitar that actually works the way it's supposed to.
So yeah, this is the whitewood department. We do body sanding, we fit the neck on, and then we do a final sand before it gets sent over to the finishing side.
I think the most challenging job definitely is whitewood. When you get to that particular point in building a guitar, when you have the entirety of the finished guitar, you have to worry about everything behind you, because if it wasn't done correctly behind you, it severely impacts how the guitar looks, how it fits together. You have to be careful of thumb sands, and you have to be careful of divots in the wood and things like that. So you have to be very conscientious of everything behind and everything in front of you in order to make sure that the guitar actually looks and plays like it's supposed to.
The neck is now on the body, and the guitar is ready to be prepped for the spray booth. The spray booth itself, the sealers, the paints, the lacquers we use, it's the most expensive and time-consuming part of the entire building process. So these guitars need to be sanded, scraped, inspected, cleaned to the best of our ability to make sure that once they hit the spray booth, they can flow through easily. Our final sanders, whitewood sanders, are all very experienced. We give them the best tools available, the best materials to do their job available, and the best lighting available, so that way they can better do what they need to do. And even after they're done and get their job done, the guitars are inspected and inspected and inspected to make sure that everything flows through the spray booth in a timely manner.
Now that I have started training people, it's really fun to see the light bulb go off in somebody's head, like, oh, that's why we're doing this, or that's why this works. They take the words that I'm saying and they realize what's happening in front of them, and the light bulb goes off. It's like, all right, I feel like I accomplished something, helping pass this heritage on to somebody else.
We're building this guitar knowing that it's not a cheap guitar, knowing that we are actually going to put work into it, and you want it to sound good and you want it to look good. People's dreams should be forefront, and if a guitar brings that good and it brings you that happiness, then it's one more guitar that goes out the door to somebody in a case where they get to enjoy it and smell it and breathe it all in just like we do.